Hi, and welcome to At Home Training Solutions. I'm Coach Crystal Ray, part of the Indiana National Guard Holistic Health and Fitness Team, also known as H2F. We serve as your subject matter experts in the area of physical, nutrition, spiritual, mental, and sleep readiness. Today, we're going to dive into the physical component and talk about at-home training solutions to help you create your workout and potentially implement it after we get finished today. Be sure to have something to write with and also take notes and ask and jot down any questions that you may have along the way. As you create your program, there are 4 components that we will look into to be able to help provide that personalized and effective program just for you. Those 4 components are going to be 1, your needs analysis. 2nd is going to be your training frequency. 3rd is your exercise order and selection. And last is going to be the intensity. So let's go ahead and take a deeper dive into your needs analysis. In your needs analysis, we focus on the why, of why you are exercising and why we are creating this session for you. So many of the main reasons that are already beneficial that we have a great idea of is that 1, it is cost efficient. So in this case, investing in a facility or perhaps paying for a membership may not be on the forefront right now. So therefore, being able to create that body weight workout is going to be best and most beneficial for you in this case. As for training solutions with just your body weight and at home or in the comfort of your own area, you actually don't need any equipment at all. And so that's what we are going to focus on today. It is also time efficient in the case that you can exercise really anywhere. Again, given the circumstances and environment. So as of today, during your drill, you are dedicating PT time for yourself. So this is going to be hopefully helpful for you in the cost of that. It's giving you many benefits in addition to that. So in your goals section, this is going to be very personalized for you. And some of these reasons may be because you are traveling. You may be going to or on TDY. You may be assigned to a mission without equipment. If you're going to a school, they may or may not have the certain or right equipment that you may need. If you personally are going on vacation, this is a great way to be able to implement a nice quick workout to be able to save that time and make the most out of your vacation there. And one of the most popular reasons why we are implementing this is because of the lack of equipment or gym facilities or time to meet that standard for your ACFT. So perhaps there is 1 or 2 components in the ACFT that you wish to improve, and body weight training will help you get there. The second component is your training frequency. This is going to be the number of sessions within the day or within the week that you're able to get in your workout. You can even stretch this out from weeks to months, even to a quarter out to a year, if you know your schedule and it's pretty consistent. Typically, a block from 4 to 6 weeks is best to be able to notice, see your results, and to reevaluate if it is working or not. Another way to determine your training frequency is by a certain goal or event date that you have in mind. For example, if you know that you're doing an ACFT coming up shortly, that is going to be a great way to help reverse plan and see how many sessions you need to get in to be able to get the adaptations that you want by that date. For now, we're just going to focus on 1 training session, and again, creating that plan specifically for you. The 3rd component that you have is exercise order and selection. Keep in mind that there's going to be a wide range of variability in this segment. However, we're still just focusing on a body weight program for 1 training session. So to determine what order to put those exercises in is going to be very personalized and customized for you. Typically, you want to put the hardest or weakest exercises first, because if you train your weakest components, it's just going to make you that much stronger. It's going to also help with just a wide range of variability that your body can move in. A great way to help you determine this is deciding what event in the ACFT you would like to improve or train the weakest event, and then move from there. A lot of body weight exercises are going to be best utilized in a multi-joint or complex approach, in which this case is going to utilize your entire body in different ranges of motion. So as far as moving forward and backward, moving side to side, and even twisting is going to give you a nice variety of exercises. So keep that in the back of your mind, in which planning to making sure that your body can move in all directions. Whenever we're looking at assisted single joint movements or exercises, these are going to be best utilized as a bicep curl or a calf raise, in which some of the single muscle groups or the single joints typically will need some type of implement or some type of device to be able to help get the most out of that single joint. So again, out of body weighted exercises, we want to be able to pinpoint and train your weakest or hardest events or movements. And then from there, be able to have that nice, well-rounded approach of moving in all directions. And then still implementing what we can with a single joint approach. Keep in mind, since this is very specific for you, if you have any limitations, if you're on profile, you know your body best. So keep in mind that you do want to work in other areas around that, or to be able to work in those areas, giving clearance. There's a great resource, your H2F Field Manual 7-22 has a great library and goes in more detail on energy systems and how to approach and the different rep schemes that you can look into with that. We're going to go ahead and transition you to meet Patricia and Jake to help demo some exercises that'll help benefit you for the ACFT. All right, we have Patricia here that's going to demonstrate 3 exercises. The first one is going to be a walking lunge, or you can also use this as a static lunge in place. So make sure that your feet are separated from one into the other, giving yourself a nice balance, keeping your spine nice and straight, and just letting that knee hover right above the ground there. Second exercise that she's going to do is going to be the single leg deadlift. So this one, she's going to balance on one leg with a slight bend in that knee, and she's going to extend her arms and her back leg into a parallel fashion from the floor. So extend all the way through and come back up. Make sure if you do one side, do the other as well. And the last exercise we have is a glute bridge. So for this one here, she's going to go ahead and lay on the ground, keeping your feet just about 6 inches from your hips, arms nice and relaxed. She's going to elevate her hips as high as possible, squeezing, creating that nice long line from her knees to her shoulders, bringing it back down and keeping that same integrity of that glute bridge as she reps through. All right, for the overhead power throw, we have Jake here that's going to help demonstrate 3 exercises as well. The first one is going to be a squat jump. So here he's really going to work on that triple extension through his ankles, knees, and hips. So getting up as high as possible. The second one here he's going to demonstrate is going to be the broad jump. So this one is going to be setting yourself place and then extending yourself all the way out. Same idea as a squat jump, and now you are just moving away from your standing position. All right, and the last one that we have here are Supermans. So Supermans, you're going to be taking it down on the ground. From there, squeezing everything in that posterior chain, lifting up as high as possible with just a few second hold count, and then coming back down to relax. For the hand release push-up, now we have tricep negative push-ups here. So as you go down, you are moving slower than as if you were pushing up. You can give this a certain count as you wish. So you can give yourself a 4-second count down and maybe a 1 to 2 second count back up. And also in this, it's also great if you would like to go and drop down to your knees as a modified position. If that first one is very challenging for you, you can work your way up into that full plank position. Second exercise is going to be the bird dog. So she's going to have her knees underneath her hips and her wrists underneath her shoulders in a nice relaxed position. From here, she's going to engage her core, lift up one arm and the opposing leg up into, again, parallel to the floor, and then come back down. You can alternate or you can stick with one side. If coordination throws you off, stick with one side. As you build up and get used to this exercise, you can go ahead and alternate. Last exercise here is going to be push-offs. So you're going to start off in that plank position. Go ahead and drop down to your elbows, keeping your core nice and strong, and then pushing yourself back up into that high plank position here. And also, again, you can modify this one if that is very challenging for you. Drop down to your knees, keep that spine, hips, core all nice and engaged as you push off. For the sprint, drag, and carry, we're going to have Jake demonstrate the reverse walking lunge. So from here, we are utilizing that push-off in reverse and standing back up. You can also travel with this one as well if you wanted to make it a little more challenging for you. Second exercise here is going to be the side lunge. So this one, as he dips down, he is shooting his hips back, keeping that spine nice and long and tall, and pushing out that leg nice and straight as the other one bends away from your body. Last exercise here are your mountain climbers. So you're going to stay in that high plank, drive your knees, alternating one from the other. Again, squeezing each side, keeping that core nice and stable as well. For the plank, the first exercise here are hip drops. So maintain that plank position and then let your hips move side to side, reaching towards the floor, keeping your upper body nice and stable. Second exercise here is going to be the dead bug. So for the dead bug, make sure your lower back is nice and pressed down into the ground. Take your opposite arm and opposite leg away from each other as you move away to center, and then bring it back to that starting position. If coordination throws you off, you can also stick to one side at a time, extending that arm and leg. And make it even a little more simpler, just extend that leg until you can build up the stamina in your core to be able to go back to the other two coordinations. Last one here is going to be your side plank. So from the side plank here, making sure from your ankles to your shoulders, you're creating that nice long line. And just a nice variation here is that you can extend your arm. You can also extend your leg, making it harder if the side plank is pretty challenging for you. But you're keeping the integrity of your spine nice and long. And of course, once you do one side, go ahead and switch to the other side, creating that nice variation. For the 2-mile run, we encourage you to use different modalities to help you improve your overall endurance. Some things can include stairs or a step, walking outside, going to a park nearby if you have access to hills around. Those are also great landscapes that can help contribute to level change. If you have any pieces of equipment at home, such as these are also great tools. You can even carry things around your house. So anything from a low to moderate weight. Aim for at least 3 minutes of continuous movement without stopping. And eventually working your way up to perhaps 20 minutes to 30 minutes, getting you acclimated to improving your overall 2-mile time, and also getting outside as much as possible to get your body acclimated to the weather. Keep in mind that other types of training, such as resistance training, is also going to help you contribute to your overall cardio.
The last component is intensity. This is based on internally how you are feeling at that given time, or after you've completed that last rep, or at the end of your circuit. So this is also known as your rate of perceived exertion, also known as RPE. RPE is based on a scale of 10 to 1. Therefore, whenever you're exercising, that scale is related to a percentage of effort. If you are working out at 100% and that last exercise was everything that you had to give, you're going to rate yourself as a 10. This is pretty extreme in most cases. We typically don't reach this if we're doing a workout session, but depending on your goals, this does get correlated to a certain extent. When you go down, your percentage of effort is then going to correlate with that scale just by adding a 0 at the end. Whenever we talk about RIR, this is going to be your reps in reserve. This is going to be the opposing number out of 10 based upon that scale. And this is also going to say how many reps that you have left to give. This is also a great progression or regression tool, whether or not knowing that you need to increase or decrease your reps for that particular exercise. RIR of 0 is going to correlate with 100% of your effort in a scale of 10. So if you are already working at max capacity, you have nothing left in the tank to give. As you go down, again, it's going to correlate out of 10, meaning that you have 10 minus your scale here. So you are saying that you have 1 to 2 reps that you can give after giving a pretty high percentage of effort. And as you go down, the scale of 7 to 6 is going to give you an RIR of 3 to 4. So meaning that you are able to push out 3 to 4 reps after you finish that particular exercise and or set. And then it's going to correlate with everything else remaining, eventually down to a scale of 1, meaning that you have 9 reps to give, which at this point, you're most likely able to increase the overall effort in another fashion. The talk test is also another great tool that I personally like. This, you don't need to correlate it to any numbers particularly or any percentages. The talk test, if you are working at 100% of your effort, you are unable to speak. So you are gasping for air, you are just exhausted by this point. So from there, you're unable to speak. As you go down, so if you're able to give out 1 to 3 words while you're exercising, but you aren't able to complete a full sentence, this is about the effort of about 90 to 80% that you are giving on a scale of 9 to 8. As you're exercising, if you're able to give out phrases, so perhaps you're able to squeeze in a few words at a time, perhaps and some phrases still thereafter, you're most likely working in a 7 to 6 scale, about 60 to 7% of your effort. And as you get down to 50% and lower, you are still able to carry on a conversation with your buddy. So you're still exercising, your heart rate's still elevated. However, by this point, the talk test is you're able to still complete sentences. So potentially you may need to increase effort if you are able to speak out sentences or create a conversation with your buddy. The last section here is your type, which this again has a lot of variability. This gets into the nuts and bolts of kinesiology and exercise science, being able to help you produce that adaptation. If you are interested in this section, I'd be able to give you more resources and tools to be able to help you create this type of workout plan. But for now, for body weighted program, you are going to aim to receive or aim to an effort anywhere from 90% to 60% given a scale of 9 to 6. Being able to squeeze in anywhere from a word to words to a few phrases, and I'll help you relate it to some of the type of training reps and schemes in an example next.
All right, so we're at the point where we are going to go through an example of how to create your workout. So I'm using myself as an example at this point in creating that body weight session. Let's start off over here and break down our 4 components of why we're doing this exercise. So my goal, my needs analysis, is that I want to improve the overhead power throw in the ACOT. This is one of my weakest components. Out of all of the events, my strongest is the endurance category. So being able to produce power is going to be one component that I really need to work on and that I want to get better at. Training frequency. So one session, I am only dedicating one workout today to this. So again, a lot of variables if you wanted to program farther out. So if you wanted to program, or if I wanted to program multiple days, I would also probably take it out to a week based upon my availability. So one session for this example. Exercise order and selection. So I'm going to be writing down exercises that help produce power, I'm going to put that first and exert the most effort in that category. The second, and leading to the end, is going to be an endurance. So if I only have one day to work out, I'm going to do a total body workout in order to get the most out of the week and in that session. Intensity wise, I am going to break down throughout the program how I'm correlating it with each section. So from here, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with just a light warm up, and at the very end of the session, go ahead and take a cool down, whether it be stretching, whether it be just letting my heart rate come back down. 3 to 5 minutes is what I'm dedicating to warm up and cool down. This can be very simple. So I'm probably gonna add some arm swings. I'm probably gonna add some knee lifts, all right? So by this point, I am just trying to elevate my heart rate. I'm eventually trying to work my way up, and mentally I am preparing for the workout ahead. I need to focus on know what I'm doing. I know I need to create that good form to be able to be effective in that exercise. So not only do you have to physically prepare, mentally prepare that you are getting in that work for that session, and then you're done for the day, okay? As we break down my first exercise here, I'm going to integrate those squat jumps that we demonstrated earlier in the course here. So from the squat jumps, since that is my power, I've already established what the order that I'm going to place that in. Power here, I'm going to relate that I should be working as hard as about an RPE of 98, in which that is producing very high power. I'm putting a lot of effort, my reps in reserve. After that, I should be able to do 1 to 2 more after that. So that is a way to correlate how I should feel after I perform the third exercise of my squat jump, okay? From there, I'm going to slowly dedicate that first segment. So that in itself won't take very long, but that's where all of my effort is going in that first part of my workout. The second section here, you'll notice it's going from 2A to 2D. In this section, I have integrated exercises that allow me to work my upper body, allow me to work my lower body, allow me to go side to side, all right? And then from there, this program here, I am working on my overall strength and hypertrophy. So being able to build muscles, being able to maintain my strength in the next segment. And the RPE, where the effort that I want to work at, is going to be an RPE from 8 to 7. So saying my RIR is anywhere from 2 to 3 after I complete those reps, or I have it in seconds here, going a few more seconds, and after the 10, being able to push out a few more reps shortly after that, okay? So as I create this workout, this is where you get creative in creating your workout. So from here, going from negative push-ups, I've given myself this series 4 sets. I'm doing a negative 2 to 4. So as I am pushing away, I'm giving myself a 2-second concentric and then going down in that negative for 4 seconds, all right? I integrated a wall sit from an upper body to a lower body just to help give my upper body a quick break for that exercise. I'm going to integrate a 30-second wall sit. So I'm compressing my lower back against the wall. I am working on breathing. I'm getting a nice parallel form in that wall sit. After I complete that, I'm going right into my side lunges. So side to side, again, another exercise that we've demoed. So I have 10 reps each side in that segment. And then I'm ending this circuit with a dead bug on the ground. Go ahead and use this template to create your own workout. Depending on your fitness level, if you have something that you have already implemented or created, excellent, go ahead and implement that for your PT session. However, if you're still very new to this and still learning the concepts, use this template to help just fill in the blanks. I've already provided you your reps and sets, so go back through and review any concepts that you need. Your H2F team and a few of your trainers will actually be on a 1300 call today, so be sure to hop on that to get to know some of us. We'll answer any of your questions, and we look forward to hearing from you then.